So this has been steeping in my fridge for a while, actually a few months. What's inside of here are some oregano blossoms. So oregano blossoms is when the oregano plant is growing and then it starts, it has flowers. And those flowers are white and those flowers carry flavor. So what I did is fill this up with white vinegar. I cut the oregano flowers, the blooms, I put them in here and just let them steep. The reason why I steep the blooms versus the oregano leaves is because this will have a lighter flavor, because if I steeped oregano leaves, this would be so strong and I didn't want that. So now I need this flavored vinegar out of here, so I'm going to strain it. So I'm going to take this lid off and then I'm going to strain actually into this jar. And I got my handy dandy strainer there, so you just put it on your jar like so. And then you just gently pour. And I'm actually going to do this carefully because I don't want to make a mess. And now I have some vinegar that has oregano flavor. And there's so many things that you can do with this vinegar. And I'm going to teach you one thing that you can do with this vinegar right after this. So in our last shot, I just had strained out some oregano vinegar. And we're going to use this oregano vinegar in a vinaigrette. When you make a vinaigrette, you want to have 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So let me explain to you what that means. So right now I have this measuring cup here, and this is the 4th cup. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in 1/4 vinegar. Excuse the mess. Now remember I said we're going to do 3-to-1 ratio. So since I put in one of these, I'm going to put in oil for this exact same measurement 3 times. So that's how we get that 3-to-1 ratio. So this is number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Now the olive oil I'm using is the EVOO, which is the extra virgin olive oil, and I got robust. That's because I really want that olive oil flavor. If that's too strong, you can get the light one. And so now we got that in here, and then you got to add a little bit to it to give it some flavor. So I like to add a little bit of honey Dijon mustard. You shake it up a little bit before you open it, and I normally put like a little squirt of that in there. So I'm gonna put a little squirt of Dijon mustard in there. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar. Now if you have restrictions, don't put the sugar in here. I don't have sugar restrictions, so I'm gonna put a little bit of sugar in here. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more. Then I'm gonna put in my spices. So I have some white pepper, ground white pepper. I'm gonna sprinkle that in. And you know, I season from the soul, so I put it in, and when I feel like I need to stop, that's when I stop. Then I'll put in some onion powder as well. So that in there. Of course, we'll put in some salt. And I love to use kosher salt, but use whatever salt you like, Himalayan, sea salt, whatever you like to use. And then of course we gotta use a dry spice from the garden, which is our dry tarragon. My family loves tarragon, so I'll put a little bit of that in there. Tarragon is strong, and we don't want it to overpower the oregano vinegar, so don't put too much. And then I have a seasoning blend. Now this is Tabitha Brown Very Good Garlic. This doesn't have salt in it, but I did read the back to see what was in here. So it has garlic in here, it has black pepper, which is different than white pepper. It has some basil, some thyme, it has some lemon peel, some black garlic, garlic oil, and some lemon oil, and a little bit of turmeric. The reason I wanted to check what was in this spice blend is because I don't want to have too much of the same thing. So if you do choose to use a spice blend, do that. But I love Tabitha Brown, and I love her spices, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in here as well. And once you get all the spices in there that you want, the next thing you gotta do is put your lid on there and shake. So we have our vinaigrette here, and you know, oil and vinegar, you have to force them to mix. So if you let this sit, it will, you know, not be mixed. You can just mix it back up again. So some people get worried. Just shake it again and it'll recombine. So I have some washed and chopped curly kale, and I have some washed and chopped bok choy. I love bok choy. I haven't grown it in a few years, but it's on the schedule to grow this year. So I'm going to put in both the kale and the bok choy in this big bowl. I know I got this big bowl right now, but in a moment you're going to see that everything's going to shrink down. And for this, because we will eat this salad today, we're actually going to pour in all of this vinaigrette. Now I have gloves on because, you know, look at those nails. I don't want all the little spices underneath my nails. So we're just protecting that. Let's make this work. So I'm literally going to pour this all over the entire salad. And then I'm going to massage this vinaigrette into the salad. Because there's vinegar in here, it is going to help shrink down this salad, and the flavor is going to get into all of the leaves. So you got your vinegar in there helping shrink down the salad. You got your spices in there giving these leaves some flavor, because you know, I have a few friends, I'm still helping them understand that kale is good for them. So recipes like this can help them appreciate kale more, because those that don't like kale are like, the taste is so strong. And so one of the things I do is also mix in a different leaf. Most people don't have any issues, well, the people I know, with bok choy per se, but you can already, and I can show you here, this is already starting to shrink down, because it was at the top of the bowl and now it's shrinking down, and that is just the vinegar breaking down the leaves and shrinking this all down. So I normally just squeeze this, and then if there's any liquid that's not on the leaves, it'll sit at the bottom. It'll go to the bottom of the bowl, and as the leaves sit there, it will continue to shrink down. And my family loves this meal. It is something my boys know how to fix on their own. So if you ever want to incorporate your children into the kitchen, this is an easy meal for them. Of course, you know, if they don't know how to use a knife, chop it up for them. Or if you want them to do the chopping, you can actually have them do it without a knife. You just have them tear the leaves. But this is a kid-friendly meal as well. So there you have it. This is done. And of course, if you want more seasoning on it, you can shake more salt or pepper to taste. But this is a really healthy salad for your body. And then of course, when it is summertime, we would grow this, and this would come right from our garden. So remember, anyone can be a gardener. You just have to get ready, get set, and grow.